Hey, 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 we are live. We are back. Yes, yes, yes. We are back. Saludos, saludos, saludos para todos. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Cómo se encuentran esta tarde? How are we doing today? What's going on, fam? What's going on? ¿Qué se mueve con la familia? ¿Cómo estamos? How are we doing today? Um, we was absent last week for various reasons. Estábamos ausentes la semana pasada por varias razones. However, we are back today. Sin embargo, estamos de vuelta hoy. Muy buenas noches. Good evening to everyone. We are live. We're going to be talking about the big topic. As you already know, we're going to touch up a little bit about Didi Freak Off. We don't usually talk about people like that. But we just want to touch up about the subject, what's going on right now with the criminal case with the mogul, Didi. As you know, is the topics that is going on right now. Internet, TV, all over the world is about Didi right now. Tell me, what do you think about this case? What are your thoughts? What do you think? Is he going to get time? Is he going to come out free? Because as you know, whatever took place, um, it was his own money that paid for his services. So we'll see what's going to happen. It's just unfortunate, a situation for everyone that is affected with this issue. ¿Qué es lo que ustedes piensan con la situación de Puff Daddy? De lo que se trata en estos momentos. Se habla mucho de del caso criminal que él tiene, sobre su freak off, sus fiestas, sus parties que él hacía. Eh, ¿Qué es lo que ustedes piensan en este caso? En primer lugar, sus freak off, él era que pagaba, invertía en estas fiestas. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que ustedes creen? ¿Va a ir preso? ¿Va a servir tiempo o va a salir libre? Díganme qué es lo que ustedes piensan. Desafortunadamente, da pena con todos los involucrados en esta situación. Sabemos que no es fácil, pero todo se puede arreglar, ¿no? So give me your thoughts. What do you think? Um, it called up my attention yesterday when the case when Cassie was at the stand. We couldn't really see it live, but I was able to log on to Washington Post. Then I read a couple uh, of her talking about the issues, talking about her experience, right? It was kind of as a woman, my heart go to her. She was young, we gotta understand that. A lot of people were why she never walked away. I believe all of us, as women in general, we go through stages in our life, and sometimes when we're young, and we enter certain situations, and a lot of the things that happens around you, you may think is normal, or you may not have control over it. And not only that, when you're in an abusive relationship, people may think it's easy for you to break away from a abusive relationship. There's a lot of factors that a person would not leave a abusive relationship right away. There's a lots and lots of factors. She didn't have children, but remember, she got to his hands when she was 21 years old. And you already know money, power, and respect. What does money sometimes do? It could pay for anything. And basically, she wanted to become an artist. Listen up. She wanted to become somebody. Hey, back then, 20 years ago, who had the key of the city? It was Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy had everybody under his arm. Hey, she was, I believe that at the beginning she felt well. you know what? This must be my best of luck to be under his belt for the simple fact that he was the it. Puff Daddy he had the key to the city, right? So we always have to counter of, her age, her position then. And as you know, sometimes, when you come from a lack of things and you find wealth with somebody that's willing to share with you, what are you going to do? Sometimes you got to lash on. You have to, just reap the benefits of the relationship or whatever's coming, your way. And at a young, and not even young, there's a lot of grown people stuck in abusive relationships. They just don't want to talk about it, or it's not the time to talk about it. But I get it. I do get it. It's just unfortunate that she had to go through that at a young age, and now she's gonna be a mother. It's just like, to relive that experience again. My heart goes to her, to sit at a stand, to literally to be butt naked and express your experience and the type of experience that she went through. I never imagined, those things existed. Even when I heard about a freak off, I didn't know what that meant. I had to go under Google and check that word out because I didn't really know what he meant, So we learn as we go day by day. There's different type of people out there. All right. We're gonna do it in Spanish a little bit. Nosotros estamos hablando esta noche sobre la situación de Puff Daddy. Él en estos momentos está en corte desde ayer. Comenzó el caso donde Cassie, su ex pareja de 10 años, eh, se sentó en frente de una corte y expresar sus experiencias con el mogul, donde ella expresó varios actos sexuales que ella tuvo que hacer, y muchas de las veces que fueron sin sus consentimientos, porque el hombre pagaba escortas para a su casa y ahí sucedían actos sexuales que yo ni me imaginaba de que estos tipos de cosas existían, pero lo que me llama mucho la atención, como un hombre puede coger una mujer, estar con ella por varios años y a la misma vez utilizarla sexualmente, tenerla que tenga sexo con otro hombre enfrente de él, lo cual que llamaba mucho la atención. También esto es algo, un aprendizaje para nosotros hoy en día, hombres y mujeres, que tenemos que estar un poco más abiertos y también tener un poco más de discernimiento con la gente, de que no todo el que se te acerca se te va a acercar con buenas emociones, o a veces también se acercarán con buenas emociones, pero a veces cuando las personas pueden ver que pueden aprovecharse de ti, dependiendo de tu edad, dependiendo de dónde vienes, dependiendo de lo que tú buscas. Esta joven, ella estaba inspirando a ser una artista grande, y recuerden que en aquellos tiempos, 20 años atrás, Puff Daddy era el Puff Daddy de la ciudad de Nueva York. A este hombre le entregaron la llave de Nueva York, lo cual que él empezó a escalar de una manera que no había nadie que no quería estar en el patio de Diddy, porque la sencilla razón, él tenía al medio mundo debajo de sus pies, y eso creo que le dio esa escalera de reinventar su mundo sexual, y entonces hoy en día él ha sido expuesto. Hay un caso grandísimo en la corte en estos momentos. En estos momentos hay un trial que va a pasar, no se sabe si él va a salir o les van a dar años, quién sabe, por la sencilla razón también que todos estos actos él invirtió y pagó por lo que él realmente quería. Entonces, vamos a ver qué futuro tiene Puff Daddy. It's just unfortunate situation that the entire world have to see this situation, turning into faults. But one thing stood with me. Um, it was his girls, right? Especially starting yesterday. Um, I don't quite understand why the girls were at the courthouse listening to this, how would I call it? listening to his to their father act. I don't understand that because when you're at a certain age, you don't even want to think about your parents having sex, let alone if your mother is already 40, becomes pregnant, and you're like, ugh, you're not thinking like, okay, it's part of life. But at a young age, or even their age, I don't care what age is, me personally, I wouldn't want to know my father's sex life. That is none of my business. That is something that I would not want to experiment. So it was, it called up on my attention, why they decided, whether the girl decided or whoever, um, is caring for them, why they would even position the girls to listen up to such a thing. Because even me listening to what I have listened yesterday, I didn't listen to anything today because I was kind of traumatized. So you imagine, I don't know what you think, but that's how I think, the trauma them girls they already went through. Okay. First, they lost their mother a couple of years ago. They were very young when they lost their mom. Now they're gonna lose their father. And who's gonna care for them? Who's gonna support them girls? Right? But it was just a very interesting how they had them girls. Well, I don't know whether they had them. I don't know whether the girls decided to go, but it was just like a bitter taste in my mouth just to have them there, listening about their father freaking off, their father hiring escorts, all that details, because Cassie gave out a detailed account of her sex life with Puff Daddy. I wouldn't want to have my if they were my daughters, I would not want to have my daughters listening to such a thing like that, period. And not only that, moving forward, they're not going to trust anybody. If your father was doing all this stuff, although they were adults, the majority of the part, they was consent, but it's still, right? But come again, um, in certain cultures, um there is no filters about situation with certain cultures. Certain cultures, they don't care, whatever goes in the household. It doesn't matter what age is the child. Nothing is hidden from the child. Um, there's no privacy act. There is nothing. A lot of culture, they believe, well, whatever happens, you got to listen, you got to go through it. But there's culture that there's certain things, that it's not that it's hidden, but is treated um with some type of respect. Is treated that um the things will be talked out probably with some adults. Will some culture will say, well, you know what, we don't think this is appropriate for our children to listen to or to witness. Let's not talk about it in front of them. But there's culture, they don't have any filters. That's why highly important. And listen up, guys. Whenever you're just gonna interculture with people that are not your same culture, make sure you investigate how they rhyme. M- you have to investigate how they litigate. And especially the world that we live in today, people don't care about anything. And we see it a lot. Okay? We see it a lot like other countries. If someone dies, what happens in the United States if they find a dead body, they cover that body, right? Another state, in other countries, what do? They take pictures, videos, and they air it like nothing happened. So it's just unfortunate, that there will be situations in people's life that you may not have the control not to witness or listen or hear, about the account. But it was very, very disappointing um, for all of them, including him, because I don't think he thought, this was going to come back and hunt him. And just remember, just because you have money, that don't mean that you could buy the world. You may be able to buy the world. However, that money can come back and hunt you. And I think this is a message to the entire world, to the new beginners, the newcomers, especially in the rap industry. This is something that y'all have to learn from this, okay? That just because you are given the keys that you gotta take the keys and play with it, and especially playing with people's life. That's something that all them rappers, especially the new rappers that are inspiring to become a rap artist or whatever artist you want to be. This is an example, that you have to think twice before you do certain things, and especially when you get an empire, you got to take care of your empire because at the end of the day, that same empire that you build, it could be taken away from you overnight. And especially if you're a colored person in this country, it's even worse because there's a thing, right? They may uplift you, they may give you whatever you need at that time, but when the time comes, you do something wrong, your entitlement will be taken away from you. That's how this country works. So, inspiring rappers, new rappers, you better buckle up if you're inspired to become artists, which I don't really see artists anymore. It's been more than 5 years that I don't really see anybody new, especially in New York. I don't know who the rappers are. I don't know what I'm listening to. But yo, this is something that we all as a human being have to take and listen up and take it as an experience, that you wouldn't want to be sitting in court detailing your sex life, right? And not only that, we have to think about our family, especially when there's children. Children are very sensitive and sometimes it doesn't matter how old they are. And especially when there's only one parent left, those are things, that sometimes we really have to think of, well, if something happens to me, who's gonna care for my children? Like those girls, I feel bad for the twins, the entire family alone, because he was the muscle. Now his mother's old. Them two, the twins. Well, I guess the boys are already grown, but especially the girls, you could tell they love their father and they want to support their father. But for how long are you going to continue supporting a father with this, madness that we see every day? And then this is going to be a crucial week. I think next week they're going to go again with a trial. It's going to be crucial because at the end of the day, people started talking. People are coming up, and these are people that are coming up and to just spilling the tea. There's no more protection anymore. So there's more to come in terms of Didi, and we just got to continue, praying for his family and praying for him too. That things will turn out on the best of everybody. And what is the future for those children? Let's think about that. What is the future holds for them? Thank God they're in America, right? They live in the US. That the US has a tendency that you could be in a mud today and you go away for 10, 20 years and you could come back brand new and you again out here in the spotlight and making it. Thank God for that. However, not all of us have the same luck to go away for 10, 20 years and you come back and you have everybody again, you know, with you. So let's see what's going to happen to his children. What is the future is going to hold for them? Are they going to lose everything? How are they going to survive? And so on. You think about those things, right? And another thing too, we want to touch up on um the core of obtaining fame. Fame is really good, but fame is not for everybody. Okay, especially when you're immature, especially when you don't know how to deal with fame. Fame will defame you the same way you get it, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it every single day. As of now, we have Puff Daddy in jail. We have uh, um, Suge Knight, okay, for life. We have R. Kelly, life. And those are and you could, mention others that you we may not even know about. So for how long this is going to continue? The way I see it, the rap era has crumbled. Okay, it turned into a crumble cookie. There's no more left out there. There's no future for the rap, and especially this new rap track, whatever they're doing. It's just like, Kanye West lost his mind. So you name it, it's like there's no future. Where do we go now? Who do we listen to? You know? And this is just in 10 years, right? Not even 10 years. The rap music have died to me because I don't even hear no rap music anymore in the streets. Okay, you hear different type of genres now. And for these, seniors, because these are seniors dudes, to go to jail, be on trial, have your laundry air out like that, even the last, penny that you have, there's cameras, baby oil. And we all love baby oil. No, but when I heard that joint when he was talking about that they filled up a tub of baby oil. I was like, damn, yo, how many baby oil does men use? What's up with that, But we we feel for his girls, and we feel for the stuff that is going on right now, because it's not just Diddy that is being affected, it's the whole entire crowd, people depending on him, people that work with him. Those people, they no longer have paychecks. Remember, artists, they do have people that work with them, they had contracts, hairdressers, stylers. It's a whole company that just crumbled overnight. And how, you know, some of these members, from his company is gonna rebuild their life. That's another thing. We always gotta think about those things. But it is what it is. We gotta learn, right? And we gotta continue. We always gotta continue being humble. That it doesn't matter whether you have a penny or you don't have a penny. You don't think that you own this earth, because we don't own it. This earth is just a passing by. It might give you fortune, it might not, but at the end of the day, you always gotta think of the consequences of certain decisions that you make, especially those big people out there. You're being looked at, you being looked at as a role model, right? You're being looked at as the mogul, the person that holds the key for entire city. You already know New York City is the it. As much as it's dirty, but whenever you mention New York, New York is like, hey, people look at you like, what? You from New York? Yes. So it's just unfortunate that we have to see this, and it's good too, for other people, other cultures to see what's taking place, for them to, to learn, what? Hey, if I'm aspiring to be an artist, let me, control myself. And if I see that there are certain situations that is hindering my growth, that is, I'm having an issue not to manage, seek help. If you're having some sex issues, find some help. There's a lot of help out here. If you're doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, with other people or with yourself, and you cannot control it, look for help. Pay for your help. Instead of paying, escorts, paying people to come in and puke on you, seek for some help, because it's best for you to fix your mind than going this route. Like this mogul right now is what, like almost 9:30 at night. He must be sitting, or he must be sleeping, or thinking about the next day in jail. So you imagine a man that comes from a mansions, and not only one, various penthouse in Manhattan, Los Angeles, California, different parts of the country. This man had homes. And you imagine where he's sitting right now? Where are those dollars? Where are those friends? Where are those people that were, up on your belt, eating, laughing, carrying on with you? Where they at? Ain't nobody there right now with you but God. But we always got to think of, right? Let's try. We all human beings. We make mistakes every single day, every minute, right? But and when we're conscious about certain things, let's do the right thing. So we are here on Thursdays. As you know, we do interviews, but today we're just speaking about Puff Daddy. What do you think about the trial? What do you think where this trial is gonna go? Is he coming out? Is he gonna get some time? What do you think about him not taking the plea deal, instead come in and defend himself? What do you think about that? Speaks a lot, and not only that, we gotta give him credit. He didn't took a plea deal. Instead, he's here face to face to face his monsters, to face people that's going to talk against him, to face people that's going to air out his laundry. That is not just a simple decision for someone to make. It takes a tough Diddy to be able to come and sit for 2 or 3 weeks, however the trial is going to go, and sit out here, embarrass himself, and listen up, be reminded of his freak off. So, what do you think about his freak off? Is he coming out or he's going in? One way things is going to happen. But let's talk about a little bit about too, right? Why Americans are depressed. Well, there's a lot of factors. Living in America is not the same thing when you live in your country. Me personally, I'm not from here. I am from Honduras. It's totally different scales, right? In Honduras, we didn't know anything about depression. We didn't know anything about mental illness, right? Yes, we used to see people that were not to wrap together. We knew they were okay, off minded, right? But to call someone, well, today I'm depressed, I don't know now, right? But I remember at a young age, that wasn't something that we was aware of for the simple fact that we was young, vibrant, and although, we lacked a lot of things, we were happy children. I never saw my mother being depressed, even having babies. I never seen my mom claim that she had some type of postpartum depression. I learned all of that in America. Back home, we didn't know anything about that. People always happy. People always not worry so much. And I believe it has to do with the living factors, right? When you live outside of America, let's say, for example, if you live in Honduras, once you already have a home, you don't longer have to worry about anything. Even if you don't have a home, you're always going to find place to stay. Why? Because there's a culture that if you don't own a home, you can rent a home or you can live with family members, right? And in terms of you surviving, you don't need much to survive. With a simple living, you are surviving. Do you have to eat 3 times of a day? Not really. Do you have to eat snack? Not really. You eat snack only when you find it. Do you have to drink up soda all day? Not really. You only drink soda during lunch hour. Do you pay mortgage? Depending where you live. The majority of the Hondurans, we don't pay mortgage. We do pay property taxes once a year, probably $50, $30, depending the size of the property or depending how often you pay your property taxes. Who pays rent in Honduras? Unless you live in the city, you're working, you're thriving, then you may get a list for X amount of time, or you rent a room and you pay your rent. That's how it goes. When America comes, it's totally different. What is the most worrisome of us living in America? First, you gotta have a housing. You gotta have roof of your head. Why? Climate. One day is cold, one day is warm. The majority of the countries, they are warm. People could build anything right on the beach. You don't have to have a property. You could just build a little hut and you live there. You could go and fish. Nobody's going to come and um give you a ticket because you're fishing out in the sea, because it's open to the community, it's open to the public. In the United States, if you're going to go out there fishing, you best believe to have a permit or have a fishing license, for the simple fact you don't have a license, you don't have a permit, you could get to jail and get deported, right? Simple. In the United States, what do? We work to pay rent. We work to pay our mortgage. We work to pay credits, car payments, you name it, is out of your pocket. So that's one of the reasons I believe most Americans are sick in the head, for the simple fact before the end of the month, or the beginning of the month, the first thing you think of, shook, I gotta pay my rent. I gotta pay my mortgage. I gotta pay my card note. I gotta pay my insurance. I gotta pay my health insurance. I gotta pay my life insurance. I gotta pay my tow insurance. I gotta pay my nail insurance. I gotta pay my eye insurance. This country is based on insurance. Do you really need it? Well, we live in an uncertainty. You may need it one day. You may not need it right away. However, just in case, just in case the uncertainty comes knocking on your door, what do you pull out? You pull out your insurance card. That is some of the reasons, right? And there's more. When you have children, that's another thing. You got to buy diapers, you got to buy milk, you got to buy food. We're under inflation right now. Who wouldn't be worried about the next day here? Everybody is. And it doesn't matter how much salary do you have. Are you planning to purchase your new home? Homes are really expensive now. And maybe you already set up, okay, in 2 years, I'm planning to do a purchase. Do you hold up? Or you go out there, you buy a house that it may be more expensive? And for sure, you should be worried if you're thinking about your future and the way inflation, the way this country is going, you should be worried. Where other countries, people don't really worry about those things because at the end of the day, they don't really utilize it. Another example, if you own a car in Honduras, that car is yours. Do they pay insurance for the cars? Not really, depending where you live. The majority of the motorists out there, they don't pay car insurance like we do here every month or every 6 months. That's the reality of life. Do they pay for life insurance? Depending where you live, independent the economics background that you have, and depending who do you live with? Okay. Do they pay for health insurance? Hell to the no. They don't. You get sick, you go to the hospital. You go to the local hospital. You get sick. If you don't have a mama to make you some tea, you find a way how to be well. If you have a little bit of money in your pocket, you may go to the private clinics where you could be seen. Other than that, either you drink some tea, you go to the hospital, or you die. Simple. In America, you got to have health insurance. You get sick. By the time you get to the doctor, you're already seen 10 doctors because out of that visit, everybody got to get paid. You get injured, you're going to see the doctor. You got to see the blood doctor. You got to see the nurse. You got to see the therapist. You got to see millions and millions of specialists because that's how the country is designed, baby. So therefore, yes, American has to suffer from some type of mental anguish for the simple fact everything is pay, 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 pay. Literally, our life in America is being pimped out. How can we get away with it? There's not really, unless you want living a minimum, right? Like people that live well from the government. That lifestyle is minimum. You may live in a place where the government pays your rent. He gives you $250 a food stamps every month. May give you maybe a little bit of stipend there, here and there, $150. Is that a reality of life? Not for us as a foreigners. It might be a normal lifestyle for someone that was born under those predicaments that doesn't have any dreams, that doesn't wants to excel in life, that doesn't want anything better for them, so they may be satisfied with $150 a month. But we know $150 a month is not enough because just by going to the markets today's day to buy a gallon of milk, it's already $10. So you just imagine. So of course we have to be worried. We have to be depressed one way or the other because every day life is just become heavier and heavier. Is it going to get better? Absolutely now. Absolutely no, it's not going to get better for the simple fact we're growing. There's a huge innovation and every day things changes, especially today's days how we're living. This 4 years is going to be some good 4 years that you and I might have to be very vigilant with takes place, not to internalize so much things that is going to take place. But there will be lots of experience that we're going to experience this 4 years. And it's a matter of how you take it, whether you want to internalize it, whether you just want to, okay, look at it, okay, it's existing, but you know what? I'm not going to allow it to affect me. Why do we have so many small children being depressed? For the simple fact, it's a life factor in the United States and it's accepted. In the United States, although people have food, people have everything that they need. The majority of the households. This is one of the richest country ever, and people here are rich. However, they still feel depressed. And why is that? It's life cycles. It's life cycles. The country promotes all kind of stuff, and people want to have or be part of a lot of stuff. And hey, and if you don't take care of your mind before you attain anything or you before you inspire to attain or become something, you're not really working on anything. But I believe the first thing we should be working on is our mindset. Your mindset will determine how you're going to live your life. So I hope this little talk today brought you some type of a joy. And if you have any topics that you want me to talk about, feel free to write to us at Orlando at gmail.com, or you could even send me a message. So our topic today, we spoke a little bit about the mogul, Puff Daddy, and the freak off trial. Diddy's sex parties. That's what his freak off means. Most of you, as me, I didn't know I was that what he meant in the beginning when I was like, freak off, what the hell is that? Then I had to go and Google. I was like, okay, this is something that I never heard of before. Freak Off is Diddy's sex parties that he used to host. Those were some very special parties that he used to have, and he called them up Diddy sex parties, and they called them up Freak Off, right? So that's what it means, sex parties with different type of, you already know, different type of things. So that is a Puff Daddy terminology for his parties. So as of now, there's a huge trial. Puff Daddy's the big topics right now with the news on on the media. Everybody's talking about this case, and especially now that um the girl, came out and started her trial. She started yesterday, um, explaining her experience with Diddy. And I think today, and then I believe tomorrow, I think it's 3 days, so she's got to be in court explaining. Then they have mentioned too that I'll be sure also is going to come to the table and speak. So it's very interested, what's going on with Puff Daddy. I never imagined that I was gonna see him in a predicament like that, but it is what it is, and there's nothing that we could do about it. So with that said, like I mentioned, we're here on Thursdays. If you want to be part of the show, we are here to assist you guys. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you have a small business, you want your business to be promoted. We promote businesses. You want to come to our platform and speak about your experience. We're here on Thursdays between 9 and 9:45, 10 o'clock, depending. And that's what we do. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we speak about various reasons, various topic, um, you name it, we're here. So I just hope that this case will end soon, and we could just, go on with our life and see what's gonna unfold for the new month, especially June. It's just around the corner. Today is the 15th. It's mid um days of the month of May. So you already know June is just around the corner. It's half of the year, it's half of the quarter. So just think about your personal stuff. That if you have something that you want to do, get on it. Don't be lazy. Don't be, leaving things for tomorrow because tomorrow may never come. Act on things right away. We know too, right? Colleges are graduating right now, so congratulations to all the graduates that we see out there. The college, high school, junior high school, congratulations to you guys. And those that are going to continue on with their education, we wish you all the best. And those that have not made up their mind to go back to school, make up your mind, go to school, educate yourself, because at the end of the day, your education will take you places that you never thought of. Life is about learning. It's not about struggling. It's about learning. And every single day, you should be learning something new. Educate yourself. There's nothing out in the street. If you banging out there, you hanging, it's nothing out there. It's absolutely, especially now, there's nothing out in the streets. Sit in your home, create a curriculum. You could take your classes online, do things that you love to do, travel, do things that is gonna please you, and also do things that 20 years from now you could look back and say, damn, you know, I went to school. I invested in this. I learned this because life is about learning every single day. It shouldn't be about struggles, right? So we encourage all young generations, go out there, get your education. Yes, you may not think that it's easy, but it becomes easy as things go by. And a lot of you thinking, oh, the money here, money will always come. When you decide to go to school, yes, school in this country is not for free. But at the end of the day, what you could get out of it, it's worth the try. I'm telling you, go on and get yours. Invest in your future. Invest in your life. Highly important. So with that said, from Orlando Combelli, from me to you, I see ya next Thursday. We will be back. So we just want to say goodbye to all of you and thank you for having us here today. Right? So I see you guys. Bye. We all done. We all finish. Adiós, adiós, adiós. Que Dios me los bendiga. En estos momentos vamos a culminar nuestro programa. Has estado aquí con Hablando con Belily y estaremos aquí la semana que viene, el jueves en la noche. We will be back here next week, Thursday, same time, same hour, which is 9 o'clock. So don't forget to tune in and watch us. And not only that, give us some feedbacks, give us a like, and subscribe to our channel. And we just want to send out a shout out to our friends all the way down to Nigeria. We want to say hello to you guys. And we want to say shout out to our friends in Accra and Volta Region, Africa. So with that said, we want to say goodbye to you. Bye-bye. Bye. We gotta finish up. You can turn it off. 1, 2, 3. Done.